What's up, guys? LAJ
And this is Marvin.
back at it with another episode. This one is pretty full of dilemmas, a looming dilemma, as a matter of fact. The Los Angeles Dodgers. Why don't you give everybody a heads up of what we're going to talk about, Marvin?
A big question, and as LAJ mentioned, it's gonna affect us in the long run, in the short run. It's brought me to tears a couple times, but Kershaw. It
Ugh.
hurts for me to say this, but is the Kershaw era coming to an end? And brace yourselves, Dodger fans, because if you're weak at heart, if you got your Kershaw tattoo on you, it's gonna hurt. Some of this stuff we might say will hurt you.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. But you know what? Just like every dilemma, there's always a positive reinforcement before the dilemma, or there's a silver lining to everything. So what I wanted to get into is, there's always a worst case scenario to every best case scenario. But Marvin has one of the best ideas and scenarios that could ever exist for Kershaw if he decides to opt out. And I want you, Marvin, to give it away and give us that incredible idea you have.
All right. So Dodgers fans, let's all cross our fingers. If you're religious, go to your church or wherever it is that you go and pray away that Kershaw follows this scenario. But we've seen it many times in, platforms, different sports where a player will, to be gracious to his home team, he'll extend his contract while keeping the overall salary the same. So in this case scenario, Kershaw is owed 32 million in 2019, 33 million in 2020 for a total of 2 years and near 70 million. So with my scenario, Kershaw would stretch out those 70 million over 4 years. So it would come close to 17 million per season. And then the contract will also be laced with a bunch of incentives and bonuses. So for example, if Kershaw makes the All-Star team, if he can stay healthy and start a certain amount of games each season, if he keeps his ERA under a certain number, a bunch of stuff, and as each one will give a certain amount of money. Now we see this with the Maeda contract, I believe him, right, LAJ?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So to me, this is best case scenario for Dodger fans, but at the same time, Kershaw has to be a very generous man to take a contract like this.
Yeah, yeah. Um, that scenario is the best scenario that could happen if he decides to opt out. Incentive driven gives him that drive to stay healthy, that drive to be even better than what he's already been, and the option to also perform at his best in the postseason, which matters the most, and what we want him to excel at. And I really, really love that scenario. My scenario is not as great as his, but it's still a positive and a good case scenario. My scenario would be he decides to opt out. Step one. Step two would be he says, "Hey, you know what? I want to help the Dodgers, minimize my salary and also give you guys room to work with for all these free agents that are coming in. How about we do an additional 80 million for another 5 years, which brings our total up for Kershaw at 150 million dollars for the extension of 2025. Now his contract, his annual salary will drop from 35 million down to 25 million. That's an extra 10 million that the Dodgers do not have to pay off. And if they want to do it incentive driven, like the whole contract or the additional 80 million could be incentive driven, that could also help out so it doesn't affect the Dodgers luxury tax. Both case scenarios, mainly Marvin's, would really help out the Dodgers in the case of bringing in all these free, big shark free agents that are coming in 2019. And we're talking about Marvin's best player, Marvin's favorite player, which is,
The one and only Bryce Harper.
there you go, Bryce Harper. So we bring in Bryce Harper, there's room for him. He's going to demand 35, $40 million, and, two-time MVP, uh, Silver Slugger, I'm pretty sure he's gotten like a whole gang of other awards. You also have Manny Machado. If in case Justin Turner something happens, or if in case Corey Seager his arm doesn't work well, adjustments can be made. and we could bring in Manny Machado, Bryce Harper. What if Yasiel Puig has another career year? What if Matt Kemp gets an MVP year, or he actually wins the MVP this year? To me, and to I think every Dodger fan, I think every MLB fan, Matt Kemp is 2011 MVP. I don't think anybody could go against that. Regardless of what the record books say, regardless of how, what the books say, the MVP is Matt Kemp, and he could potentially be another two-time MVP. But going off subject, we're not talking about Matt Kemp. That's a whole nother video. These two scenarios gives us flexibility and the options to bring in those free agents and really, really give Kershaw and the Dodgers the opportunity to definitely win a couple of championships, not be contenders, but win several championships. I mean, do you agree on that, Mark?
Definitely, because as you saw last season, we were there.
Mm-hmm.
We were 9 innings away.
Mm-hmm.
And really, we could have used the help of another power bat, someone like Harper or Machado. So a dependable, proven talent. Or another starting pitcher, because as we see right now, our starting rotation is they're nowhere to be found.
Yep. It's all they're all in the DL, and we're really hanging on a thread. We're really succeeding actually with pretty much rookies, sophomores, and one top prospect, Walker Buehler. So that's how we're winning right now, and that's pretty much our future. So as good as we may be right now, we still need Kershaw. We still need him. He's a definitely important part of this rotation. But now, Dodger fans, if you're faint of heart, you're weak, brace your butt cheeks because it's gonna get really bad right now. We're gonna give you guys the worst case scenario if in case Kershaw does decide to opt out and says, "Hey, you know what? I'm opting out and I want more money." Marvin, how do we handle it? As you and I, we're the front office. You're Zaidi and I'm Andrew Friedman. How would we handle this situation?
So our last case scenario is, of course, the only one that's left and probably the one that's gonna happen, but Kershaw asks for more money.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're the front office, you can't really justify paying him. Because if you're going to pay him more, you're going to hit or get close to that $40 million benchmark.
Mm-hmm.
And the way Kershaw's injury history is, his postseason numbers, you can't justify paying him $40 million a year.
Yeah. What do you think we do?
You and I, and anyone who wants to join us, LAJ and I, we're going to meet at Denny's. We're going to have a nice breakfast. If you guys want to meet us there, you can meet us there. We'll give you the address. And right after, we're going to all head over to Clayton Kershaw's house, help him pack his bags, pack up the U-Haul, and ship him off to wherever it is he got all his money from.
That's pretty much it. That is something we will do. Honestly, it might seem like Marvin and I are being shallow or jerks about it, but in reality, if Kershaw were to do something like that, he's in reality the jerk, wanting more money. And one reason, I'll give you one of the two big reasons why we wouldn't, be sad about him walking away and just allowing him to walk. Mainly because of his injuries. I think it started around 2016, June of 2016. It all started with that mildly herniated disc. It put him on a 60-day DL. He missed a couple of months. He came back for the postseason. He had a good run, but ultimately he got defeated by the Chicago Cubs in the NLCS. Then a couple of the following year, same thing, lower back tightness. It isn't the herniated disc, but he suffers now from the back tightness, the lower back tightness. He's day to day. Then he goes on a 10-day DL, and we don't see him for a couple of weeks. He comes back also for the postseason, does well, but ultimately, we're short. Finally, we're in this year. It all started in May with that bicep tendonitis. That put him back almost a month. And he comes back. He has an okay outing, but you could tell something was off with him. Then come to realize that he again had lower back tightness. To go along with his hip, to go along with his arm, to go along with the back and the disc, it's alarming to know that he's only getting older and the injuries are coming more frequently. He can't have a full year of health since 2015. He's becoming very injury prone, and we're seeing him very slightly go on the decline. But that's one reason why we would feel comfortable allowing him to walk away. Marvin, what's the second one?
Definitely his postseason, I should say, unsuccess.
Mm,
Aside from his last postseason, he had a pretty good run up until that game 5 of the World Series, where he lost a 4-run lead, and then he lost a 3-run lead.
mm-hmm.
Sorry to bring that up, Dodger fans, but we're still trying to forget it as well. But so far, in his 7 years pitching in the postseason, it's 12 series total. He has a 4.35 ERA. He's allowed 18 home runs and 59 earned runs.
Jesus
So
Christ.
come postseason, he's not the same. So the thing about Kershaw, when we think about Kershaw, we think amazing regular season, one of the greatest of all time to ever do it in the regular season. Come postseason, where's Kershaw? I'm looking for him.
Where's Waldo?
So now, where's Waldo? So now, if he's becoming less and less available in the regular season, what justifies paying him close to $40 million or above $40 million per season if that's what he demands?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's known for his regular season numbers, and like you said, since 2016, it's that lower back, and a lot of it's because of his awkward delivery. It puts a lot of pressure on his back.
Yeah.
Yep. So it puts a lot of stress on his back. So you can, based on evidence, you can conclude that this is going to happen almost every season. As you mentioned, this season it was just his biceps, so we figured, okay, we dodged the bullet there. But he comes back, pitches a game, and it's his back again. And now he's out for who knows how long, because, the Dodgers like to mask their injuries. So they say a couple weeks, that might turn into 1 or 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
So definitely alarming. As you mentioned, he's getting older. He's not getting any younger, any healthier. So this is going to be a regular thing. Every season you can expect him to miss at least a month, because that back issue, it doesn't go away.
Yeah.
And the more he pitches, it's just going to happen more and more frequently, unless he somehow changes his whole delivery, which he's not. Realistically, he's not.
Yeah.
You can expect that to happen.
Yeah, this late in his career, he's already set with a delivery. He's already set with the way he practices. Like, just his career is already set. There's no need to change it, because then this later in his career to just all of a sudden make a sudden change could really affect his performance moving forward to where he can never recover from. And it just doesn't make sense. But ultimately, we have our scenarios, which are the best scenarios out there. And then we also have the worst case scenarios. But with every worst case scenario, I know we're on this roller coaster ride. We're giving you good, we're giving you bad. But let's give you another good. There's always options out there if in case we lose Clayton Kershaw. A couple of them, Marvin could definitely touch up on them real quick. But we've seen the success of some of these players. Give us three names that have been successful that could be considered replacements for Clayton Kershaw.
So if you kind of go into like the tier A or top tier, if you want to call it, you have someone like Dallas Keuchel, who's just going to be a flat out free agent. I don't really see this happening because he's been amazing, but in case the Red Sox don't pick up his option, you're going to have Chris Sale available as well. And I'm sorry, Dodger fans. I really do apologize that I'm going to say this, but Madison Bumgarner is a possibility. If his option is not picked up, if you look at San Francisco, they're paying a lot of players a lot of money, and they might want to just wipe that team out if it's unsuccessful this season. So I think Bumgarner has a good chance of becoming a free agent this offseason. But I think that's an interesting pickup.
Yes.
I know we're going to have a lot of these keyboard warriors coming at me when this video comes out, but just think about it. Just think about it, Dodger fans.
Give him a shot. Give him a chance. Give him a chance to explain before you guys get all crazy on him. Just give him a chance to explain.
Cover those letters in front of the uniform, and just imagine him in Dodger blue. He's a great postseason pitcher.
Yes.
he does. He's a good in regular season. Or he does enough to get the team by. And with this Dodgers team is great. They'll give him run support, and the bullpen can definitely help him out too. So he'll be good in the regular season. But we all know Bumgarner, and him in the postseason, he's a whole different animal. He's what we all wish Kershaw was in the postseason.
Yeah. Imagine that Kershaw with Bumgarner's abilities. It sucks to say. I just want to throw up saying that, but if Kershaw had that type of performance like Bumgarner did, we'd be talking probably 2013 championship for sure. 2016 maybe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure 2016 as well, because they lost on Kershaw's game, which was game 6, it was game 6. So that opportunity came and went, and they could have. But if you have Bumgarner's performance with Kershaw, there's no doubt at least the Dodgers are at least 2-time World Series champions. But we'd be stuck with Don Mattingly. That's a problem. That's a huge problem.
And so that's kind of like I think your top tier, like Bumgarner. He doesn't really belong in that top tier, but I just think about his postseason performance, and I kind of put him up there. And I know a lot of people will probably tell me, hey, Marvin, he's been on the injury. He's been injured these last 2 seasons as well. But his injuries aren't, like, I can't really compare them to Kershaw's injuries. Kershaw's injuries are just his delivery, his health, his back. That's on him. That's unavoidable.
Yeah.
And with Bumgarner, it's just like, it's stupidity. He fell off a motorcycle and broke his arm, and then he just got hit with the ball. So you can depend on Bumgarner being there as long as he's not out riding motorbikes.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like your top tier. But these guys, especially Keiko and Sale, they're going to demand heavy money if they hit the free agent market.
Yep.
They're going to be, they're in the $30 million range, because these guys are studs. They are amazing pitchers. They bring it in, night out. And Bumgarner, I've never seen him asking for that much money. I don't know. I can't recall exactly what his contract is.
Right now it's at 11 something, a little bit over 11 million right now. Right. And he's a 3-time World Series champion.
Yeah. So that's like pennies for a pitcher right now.
Yeah.
If you want to kind of go a little more budget, but still good pickers, you have someone like Patrick Corbin from the Diamondbacks, Gio Gonzalez from the
Washington Nationals.
Yep. Was Gareth Richards from the
Angels?
The fake Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. So these, if you go for pitchers like this, you can kind of get 2 pitchers close to what Kershaw alone will demand. Because if Kershaw is going to leave, it's because he's going to demand close to 40 million, or at least 40 million. So, you get someone like Bumgarner, Corbin, or Gareth Richards, still very good pitchers that are, they're proven pitchers. And for the price of Kershaw, you can have 2 of these guys.
Yeah,
and that would
probably be since you have like Kershaw, you have Bumgarner, you have all these pitchers that you just mentioned, Dallas Keuchel, like top tier A-level pitchers, picking up someone like Garrett Richards or who else did you mention? Garrett Richards, Patrick Corbin. Those pitchers would be like B high C tier pitchers, so they're still decent, but you get 2 for the price of 1.
Yeah, because right now, it's not looking good. Pretty much our ideal starting rotation, it's Kershaw, Hill, Ryu. They're all nowhere to be found. Dodgers Nation is still looking for them. And they're all off somewhere in some hospital, resting at home. So, you can't go forward with this rotation. You need to bring in some new healthy guys, because our future right now is Buehler. Buehler, he's pretty much a mainstay in rotation. We're still kind of waiting to see how Urias comes back from his injury. But if he gets healthy, he's going to be in there as well. So you get another, like I said, I mentioned on our show last week, there's no Kershaw out there. You're not going to get a Kershaw, but, you got to look at the light at the end of the tunnel and see that some of these guys in free agency, they can help the team out. No, they're not gonna deliver Kershaw performances, but they're gonna help the team win, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. So there you go, Dodger fans. There's a silver lining to that worst case scenario, which is he opts out for more money and uh, we lose him. But a silver lining being that we get two very decent, very good pitchers for the price of Kershaw, or get another go a different route, someone like Madison Bumgarner, who could be very controversial for us. But again, there's always a silver lining. But I'm gonna play with you guys' emotion one last time. What if Kershaw decides to opt out? And I'm asking you, Marvin, if he opts out and he decides to go like a contender, someone like, I don't know, the Houston Astros or the New York Yankees, how would you feel about that?
I think the day of, we're all gonna get together in downtown or on Chavez Ravine, and we're gonna have jersey burning ceremonies. But after that, I don't know about you, LAJ, but myself, we see how much happiness Kershaw brought us. So after a while, it'll go down, the grudge will go down, and we'll be fine, and we'll be okay with Kershaw. We'll still be happy about what he did in LA, but definitely a salty first couple of weeks or months.
That'll be a very few amount. I think maybe like 2 or 3 people will feel like that. The rest of the millions of Dodger fans would still be burning jerseys and be at Dodger Stadium pissed off, like rioting. Um, yeah, I would legitimately be pissed. Imagine he does something like that and he wins a championship. Just imagine for a moment that happens. I'd be so pissed. So,
like
so,
what the hell? Why couldn't you do that when you were here?
yeah, yeah. But, let's just
Especially
forget
if he
about,
goes like Bumgarner status in the postseason.
oh
Oh,
my
that'll
God.
be pissed.
And imagine he does that against us. Imagine he meets us as an Astro. Imagine he meets us as an Astro in the World Series and he just straight destroys us. He no hits us. Imagine something like that. You know what? I don't even want to put. I'm not even gonna imagine that. I'll be so mad. I'll be so pissed.
At Dodger Stadium.
Oh my God. Oh dear, sweet Jesus. But you know what? Let's leave this on a high note. Kershaw has given us a lot of great memories, a lot of great stuff, and a legacy that will forever be remembered. We, I don't think there's anybody out there from our listeners or people that are watching this that could legitimately say they saw Sandy Koufax firsthand and experience what we're experiencing now with Clayton Kershaw. All we know about Sandy Koufax is stats, highlights, and stories. We never got the opportunity to see him in person. So seeing Kershaw is an amazing experience. And Marvin, I know you and I have been to a game. Do you remember the game we went to?
Yeah, it was against the Nationals where we were so hyped up because it was Kershaw against Steven Strasburg.
Mm-hmm.
And that game just lived up to its hype.
Yeah.
To many people, it was a boring baseball game because there were like practically no hits. The score ended in like 1-0.
Yeah.
But oh man, we were having the time of our lives just seeing these two pitchers go back and forth. And that's what it was with Kershaw. Kershaw's pitching was a show of its own. Oh, like it was just, it had us glued to our TVs and like, at the edge of our seats at the stadium. Like it was truly spectacular to watch Kershaw pitch, especially seeing him pitch live.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You see that curveball completely different. Hearing Vin Scully call that no hitter and call his curveball, it was just like, oh my goodness. And wow, did you see that curveball? It was just like, wow. Curveball was beautiful, unhittable. And if he had that thing working, expect to get either no hit or like 3 hit and kept scoreless, plain and simple. Do you remember who scored that one run, Marvin, with the game we went to?
The one run? I can't remember. I just remember the loser from Washington, Michael Taylor, who missed that simple catch. I cannot recall who scored the run though, but I remember Michael Taylor just flat out missing that catch. And then me, because I'm such a huge Bryce Harper fan, I forced LAJ, actually bought a ticket and forced him to sit pretty much right next to Bryce Harper with me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Bryce Harper's look on his face was just like, oh man, I was just gonna go into the Nationals locker room, get my clothes, and walk over to the Dodgers locker room. Like, oh man,
Just buy a jersey from the stadium and just wear it. If it's a blank jersey, just get a magic marker
Sharpie
and
his
write.
name on there.
Yeah, yeah, on the back. But I thought it was a home run by Chris Taylor. I mean by Chris Taylor, by este Corey Seager. So damn, I gotta go back and watch to see who scored that run.
No, cause, oh no, the score was 2-1. Yeah, the score was 2-1.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Oh, well, it was a great pitchers duel. It wasn't hot. That's the other good thing because it was kind of a day game. So that's the other good thing about it. But before we
Yeah.
leave off, what's your like Kershaw memory? Your like his era. What's to you? What's his legacy as a Dodger player?
As a Dodger player, just pure dominance.
Hmm.
You know, Dodger Nation, he's either year one or two. You know, Sandy Koufax was at the top of the pedestal. And
Hmm.
for many, I don't know really what your opinion is on this. We haven't really had the chance to touch on it. But to me, he's looking at stats, you know, he's behind. To me, he's a little behind Koufax, but to me, he's up there as 1 and 2. But most importantly, for me, it's what he did off the field as well. You know,
Mm,
Kershaw had a
yeah.
huge impact on this community, the Dodger community, as well as the LA community as a whole. He did many off the field charities, you know, such as the Kershaw Challenge.
Hmm. Yeah.
And he just, him and his wife, I believe, Ellen Kershaw, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Uh, yes, they had a bunch of charities that worldwide. You know, Kershaw went worldwide as well, and he just did so much for the community as a whole. And we're very appreciative. I don't, you know, we don't want to sound salty talking about him leaving and this and that. We really appreciate everything he
Yeah.
did. You know, not just on the field, but off the field as well. He was a great member of this community, and we hope he sticks
Absolutely.
around. We really do,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because he has
Absolutely.
such a huge impact.
Yeah, no doubt about it. One thing that I do remember mostly that he does a lot, and he's like very passionate about it, not because he like I think if he wasn't a baseball pitcher, he'd probably be a ping pong player because he does that ping pong for a purpose. And then during the spring training, they're playing ping pong in the locker room. So getting
Oh
all the
yeah.
celebrities and all the charity going in LA during the off days, the ping pong for purpose. It's just amazing. Yeah, I'm with you on that. For me, the legacy that he leaves behind is remembering his dominance, just like you mentioned. But the two big things that I remember the most from him are his 300 strikeouts in one season, and mainly because I was there, and I remember Ken Jeong from The Hangover introducing the players. I remember Juan Uribe being the manager that day, and he took him out after a couple of after he got his 300 strikeout. Uribe walked out there like a boss, sunglasses and everything, and it was the last game of the season, last game of the regular season, or before going into the postseason, and it just felt like it was a great day. It was fun, and you know, I can't think of another pitcher that's hit 300 strikeouts in a season since Kershaw. I don't think it's been done. Honestly, I don't think so it has. I would have to look into that to confirm that. But that's one, and the other one, and that's because it includes me, and I'm a humble brag, or straight up just brag. But his no hitter, I remember the second pitch he threw. I went on social media and I said, you guys got to tune into this because it's about to happen. We're going to witness something incredible." I knew then, two pitches in, that he was going to get that no hitter. And sure enough, watching it was just incredible because, again, we did not get that opportunity with Sandy Koufax. And having this with Kershaw was just incredible. And he leaves behind a legacy that Dodgers fans are not going to forget. The ones that are around now, he's our, I guess, Koufax. But do you have any other things, Marvin? Any other?
I guess just a disclaimer, but you know, we're not Kershaw haters. You know, I know this
Absolutely
video,
not.
especially if you skip the first half of this video, you're gonna hate us because this whole second half, I know we kind of just bashed on Kershaw and we already talked about replacements and who would be better. But in reality, no, we love Kershaw. You know, we're huge
Yes.
Kershaw fans. We appreciate everything he did. You know, as I just talked about it on and off the field. Excuse me, getting choked up here talking about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's done so much for us. He's brought so much joy to us. But in reality, as everything in life, some things just have to come to an end, and in this case, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, Dodgers fans. And, if letting go of Kershaw means we can get to the end of the tunnel, which, for us, it's a World Series, then so be it. Like, it really hurts to say this because we imagine,
Bringing tears to our
ever since,
eyes.
yeah, we always imagined, we see at the end of the game, we win the last game of the world, or we win the last game of the season, and we see Kershaw up there holding the World Series MVP and taking a picture with the World Series trophy. That was a Dodgers fan dream right there. But, due to circumstances such as price and health and, it hurts. It really hurts to say this, but it might all have to come to an end. Now, we wish it doesn't. We really hope that either your scenario or my scenario works out and we can win that World Series with them. But if it doesn't, then, oh man, that's going to sting.
Yeah, it's gonna really hurt. Damn. Damn. Ah, but with that being said, thank you guys for listening. Make sure you guys follow and subscribe to Legendary Sports on let's Legendary Sports Organizations on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, and catch our shows on Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 9 Eastern Standard Time. We're live on that, so you guys can call in at 646-668-2951. You guys want to ask us any questions, you guys want to interact with us, anything, feel free to call. We'll be with you guys, and we'll provide you that stuff for you guys. I'm just rambling off because I'm like kind of heartbroken because we just talked about some serious matters with a great player that's really brought a lot to the Dodgers. But yeah, definitely we look forward to having Kershaw for a long time and his dominance continue, and hopefully he stays healthy and returns to be even stronger. With that being said, you guys have a great day. Thank you guys for listening. You guys have a good one.
Have a good one, everyone. We love you, Kershaw.